take a design and we try and make it as simple as we can. Now, this week we are continuing with some more villager shenanigans to have a crop of goods. Another one, this is which we will talk about in a bit more. This means that they will to find out which ones. That's pretty cool. This guy, we've got so these guys over here. We've got a butcher, nice to fill it up. The breeder. So a couple of episodes ago we did a villager to your breeder. So here what we do is we send the villager across. He goes to the farm, he gets ejected, and then, as if by magic, he walks all the way over here just by himself, no problem at all. And when he jumps down here, he'll fall down here, and he will then become the profession of this workstation, which again, like this guy, is a butcher. And now we can trade with him. Now all of these slots are now filled up. And that is basically it. That's all there is to it. So when this starts off, all of these slots will be open, and you can just dispense as many villagers as you need to into here, and this will give you a villager trading hall. Now this design here has got 10 villagers. You can make this a lot bigger than this. We'll talk about a bit more of that in a bit more detail later on. But this is a good starter size to get you going. And to give you an idea of just how simple this is, let's have a quick scoot around just so you can see all the redstone. Well, it's basically like a couple of redstone dots. So we've got a couple of redstone dots, we've got an observer, and we've got a piston and a piece of string, and that's all you need for each slice. That's pretty much it. And the rest of it is all done. So we don't need any special rail contraptions or anything like that for managing minecarts. That is all gone. So this is based on a design I did previously, but I've made it much more simple for 1.16.2, which is the version that we're currently in, the latest version. Now, let's talk about a few details of how you're going to use this farm. Now, we'll talk about it in the context of this version. That's the stuff we're going to talk about now is also apparent for this second version as well. So let's cover it now. So I've written a whole bunch of notes over here to remind myself of all the different things that we need to cover. Now, I don't want to go into too much depth about all the villager trades and how they work and all this kind of stuff. There's lots of detail to that. That's stuff you can look up, and I did cover that in a previous version of this farm a little while ago, and a lot of that stuff is still correct today. So first of all, as I said before, this is for Java Edition 1.16.2. If you're in Bedrock, this probably won't work, but yeah, this is just for Java, so take that into account. Now, when it comes to picking the workstation, so you saw over there that we ejected the villager, and he stood right over here on this block, and then he immediately started walking over to the empty slot because he detected the workstation. Now, they will detect workstations within 48 blocks of them, so this could be pretty big actually, much bigger than this in fact. And you could also make this in a shape of a U as well, like a U shape here. You could do that, and the villager will pathfind all the way around, all the way back, even if the only do anything to talk about. People asking me all they need to trade with a villager. Eventually, the trade that you try and do with them, once you've done it enough times, you'll get a red cross here, which means that this trade is then locked out. Now, twice a day, that will then unlock, so you can do it again. So that's the limitation of some villagers. Now, the other thing when it comes to villagers is there's a thing called profession cycling. Now, what does that mean? Well, that is the first time a villager comes to a workstation, he's given some trades like this guy here, but you might not like those trades. You might want to try and get something different. That's particularly important, like when you're trading with a librarian, for example. Maybe the first book you're looking for a mending book, for example. Let's see if any of these guys have got a mending book. No, nothing here. No. So let's say, for example, we're after a mending book from this guy. But what we can do now is, if you don't trade with them, if the first thing you do, if you replace this workstation, they will indeed refresh their initial trades. Now, the way to do that in this farm is you can do it once they're all in their slots, no problem at all. But put down a slab on top of the workstation, just like that. That means this guy can't get out. And then you can break this workstation, and you'll see he loses his trade. Then you get the workstation of choice, put it back, and then he should again gain his profession. Now we can right click on him and see his trades. Now they haven't really changed, so now we can do this a few times, and he should get some different trades eventually until we get one that we like. Oh, quick charge 2, yeah, maybe that's the one I want. So you can do that over and over again until the initial trade is correct. Then once you trade with them, then that trade is then locked in, and that is the same for all the professions for all these villagers. Now all our villagers are in place. The next thing to talk about is gossip. Yes, these guys like to talk. They gossip about all sorts of things, positive and negative. So let's talk about the positive first of all. So whenever you trade with one of these guys, they will recognize you as being a good guy, and they will tell their friends. So this guy, if I trade with him, he will tell his neighbor that I'm a good guy. Tell this guy as well, and they will also lower their prices. They'll give you a discount on the trade, so that is a good way to lower some of your trading prices. There's other ways to do it as well, which we'll talk about in a bit more detail later on, but that is the reason why we have these slabs here, to give these villagers eyesight between each other, so they can see each other. Now if you were to put a block in here, a full block, you can do that if that's what your design would look better at, but yeah, if you did that, you'd miss out on that positive gossip. Now the other thing they gossip about is negative. Actually, one of the things with this farm is it's very simple, this trading hall. See, the way to these guys, and that would be bad to remove, you know, in whichever way you see fit. Now, I actually did that far too close to the villagers, and to demonstrate, look at this guy, his trading prices have gone way up, so make sure you do this well away from the villagers so they don't detect that. And now, of course, we have this empty slot. The roof has opened. We have detected there's no villager in here. So put your workstation back again, so the guy will be locked in place once he comes in. And then get another villager from your breeder, and he should, as long as it's daylight, he should come on over, get ejected as before. He'll detect his workstation. There he is. He's walking on over, and he'll just jump down here nice and easily. And then the roof will close up behind him, yeah, locking him into place. And now let's get into the block by block tutorial, but before we do, here is the material list of everything you're going to need to build this simple version of the villager trading items. These are some mix these up each space, and so you're just build to bring the open to this. Make sure block here and so this design is the profile of this end. Important. Let's talk about convert, raise him back like that, and he's now part, and now he is he gets potatoes for an emerald. Wow, dude. But what we can do is we can make this cheaper. The positive gossip we're talking about is if you convert a zombie villager into a villager, he will vastly discount his prices, and we can do that in this farm. We can flip this lever just like that. He gets lowered down, the zombie can see him and gets attracted to him, and then starts attacking him just like this. Down, the zombie can see him. Do that in this farm. We can flip this lever just like that. He gets lowered down, the zombie can see him and gets attracted to him, and then starts attacking him just like this. He jumps up and down, and the stair above does go up and down, but that's okay. And now he is converted into a zombie villager. Now we can raise him back up again, and he's now part of our farm. Now to get our discounts, we need to convert him. Now to do that, we give him a splash potion of weakness like that, then get a apple and click it on him like that, and we get that sound effect, and that means that he is now converting. He's going to has now not just his first one, so this is pretty good. So okay, we could cure him again and get further discounts. Now when it comes to the gossip, these two guys are talking, and if we look at this guy's trades, his trades have also been reduced. So it doesn't just affect the villager you cure, it also affects the villagers around. Has he talked to this guy yet? No, he hasn't discounted his trades yet, but I'm sure he will in due course once they start chatting. A few more details. Click this lever to check his what I've got on easy mode. I've got 0% there. That means 0% of the time your villager will be converted. That means that on easy mode, if a zombie attacks a villager, they will die every single time. So if you're on easy mode, this trading hall is no good because all your villagers will die. If you're on normal mode, half the time your villagers will die and half the time they will convert to zombie villagers. So again, not sure how useful it'd be for if you're in normal mode. Something to think about there if you want to do that, but you will end up losing some villagers. Hard mode is the mode you want to play on, where this is most useful because 100% of the time your villagers will be converted and they will never die when it comes to zombie attacks. The other thing to consider is the zombie in terms of making sure he doesn't despawn, because it will never hold an item spawn. Now the rates at which those zombies will hold loot are different depending on your difficulty. So if you're in easy mode, it's 0%, so zombies will never hold an item, so that means that you'll have to use something else like a name tag to get him to not despawn. As your local area, your difficulty level increases, and so your percentage chance increases here. So use a name tag, that's a safe way to do it, but you can also use guys and get, because when the villagers are lowered, he gets eye. The villagers got eyesight. The line of sight. Attracted to. Interested, not too bothered. But when I did some testing earlier, I put a villager over here, and he actually got stuck. He kind of stood around and didn't attack the villager. So something to be aware of. Make sure you build this away from other villagers. The last thing to mention in terms of line of sight is that you may want to build this in a U shape, so not just have a straight trading hall. You could build this over here like this, and then another one along here, and then one more along here to create a U shape. You can totally do that. That will definitely work, and the villagers, even if you drop off over here, will walk all the way around the U shape. I would recommend having a zombie on each side, because if you just have one zombie for the whole of the trading hall, he may well not be able to see the villagers over here and may not go and attack them. So yeah, have one zombie for each side of your trading hall. Now before we do the block by block tutorial, let's check on our guy. So we've converted him twice now. This changed. It wasn't changed. So the way, if you want to stay will do to have a. So there we go. That is all the items you need. So a lot of the 20 is a slab every other block, just like this. It's just like put on, and then get, and then come under, and then your stairs goes down. Obviously, you can pause the stairs if you want to keep these initial trades that you find with your villager. So let's build this thing up block by block, and here again is the material list for this version of the design. As before, very similar. We've got some building blocks here.
Ah.